I definitely think that schools shouldn't mandate all students participate the physical test, especially training or jogging. More specifically, all students didn't have the same immunity and body strength. It might be there some students have a disease that makes it impossible to exercise hard. Furthermore, the student who have heavy weight can move too fast and too much. It would make harder the student and worried about getting injured. For example, student who has asthma can move too fast and getting tired. In conclusion, maybe the effective one is change the highest physical test. The lecture is about hill topping, which is observing for multiple insect species. These species display the habit called hill topping. In the lecture, the professor talking about butterflies, specifically the Agohana amero. Many Aegonus display a special mating preference that is location specific in order to study these mating behaviors apart from some luck. We goes on to say tarantula hawk wasps also engage in such behaviors, some similar to the egg Andes. The male tarantula hawk wasps fly up to the top of hills to compete with other males. So after listening, I now have a better understanding of multiple insect species, especially the butterflies and the wasps. They'll go into the hilltopping to give a strong mating signal of genetic fitness to the female species. The lecture is about hilltopping, which is observing for multiple insect species. These species display the habit called hilltopping. In the lecture, the professor delivers talking about butterflies, specifically the Agohana amero. Many Aegonus display a special mating preference that is location specific in order to study these mating behaviors apart from some luck. He goes on to say by talking tarantula hawk wasps also engage in such behavior, some similar to the egg Andes. The male tarantula hawk wasps fly up to the top of hills to compete with other males. So, after listening this lecture, I now have a better understanding of multiple insect species, especially the butterflies and wasps. They'll go into the hilltopping to give a strong mating signal of genetic fitness to the female species. In the lecture, the professor explains about type of connection the business build with their potential customers. First, professor talking about building a strong social relationship with customers. The meaning is how to make strong social relationship with customers, remembering they want to know more stuff, have to be humans instead of, let's say, automatic thoughts. And the customer will be more comfortable when they being greeted with actual stuff. Secondly, the professor describes building economic connections with customer. It revolves around forms of concrete benefits such as discount. It makes the customer to continue to buy products from the same company. So that's why building connection with customer is an obligation in a business. I have to say that my ideal work environment is a friendly and supportive place where people can share ideas freely and learn from each other. For instance, as a teacher, I enjoy working in a school where colleges collaborate to create creative lessons and help students succeed. When the atmosphere is positive, it motivates everyone to do their best. For example, workshops or training sessions allow me to develop new teaching skills and stay updated with modern methods. As you can see, a workplace that encourages teamwork, communication, and continuous learning is the kind of environment where I can perform well and freely and feel truly satisfied. The reading passage announced there will be receiving special funding from the year's budget to increase the gym machine. Is in response, since many students complained about the minimum of machines available. The man in conversation has the idea. He starts off saying, it's not that busy. He also never wait too long when use the machine. He also mentioned that the new woman's opinion gonna be right since make new different sports better than increase the number of gym machine. To sum up, in the machine, it's not important remembering all students have different favorite activity, make new part or buy some bike that would be beneficial. The lecture is about economic theory. This law holds that as more of a variable input such as labor, capital, added fixed input, and etc. The professor elaborates on economic theory with a principle known as the terms. This holds that is more of variable input such as capital, the added output gained from each additional unit of the variable input. Secondly, the professor describes mechanism works in a such way that at a certain point adding more labor or capital isn't going to increase output. To sum up, economic theory has a principle known as the terms, and this concept is significant in business operation and strategic planning for it guides business. The lecture is about two programming styles, which is procedural and object-oriented programming. First, the lecture states that procedural programming is a method of writing software. For example, you may have a procedure that read from and write to a file calculate the square root of number. Second, the lecture notes that object-oriented programming organized software designed around data or object can be designed as a data field. For instance, an object can range from physical entities like human being who is described by properties. These are two examples that the lecture discussed in the lecture. Thank you.